Whether you're a tenant or a landlord, you may have had some kind of conflict. Landlords charging illegal deposits or jacking up rent above the rent cap, or tenants not paying their rent or damaging a property. It's been 1 year since a report about tenancy enforcement was given to the province. So is dealing with these sorts of issues getting any easier? If you find yourself needing to take action, no matter who you are, you start by going through the residential tenancies program. An officer hears the case, then makes a decision. But if one party doesn't comply, the residential tenancies program doesn't have its own way to enforce orders or levy fines, and police and bylaw officers won't get involved. So each party has 10 days to appeal the residential tenancies decision. Then it can be enforced through the small claims court by hiring a sheriff. But the problem is this doesn't always work. If you don't have the other person's banking information, address, or other personal information, sometimes there's nothing the sheriff can do, leaving some people fighting for months or years with no resolution. Landlord and tenant groups have been saying the province needs an enforcement unit for years. In November 2022, the Houston government hired a consulting firm to study Ontario's enforcement system and outline the scope, structure, and costs of setting up something similar in Nova Scotia. Then we heard nothing for months. Last May, I asked Colton LeBlanc, the minister in charge of residential tenancies, if his department had received the report. He said yes, but refused to release it publicly. Then in August, CBC found out the report recommended a similar enforcement and compliance unit to Ontario. It set out a timeline that would have had the unit in place by March. In October, LeBlanc said legislation wouldn't be introduced in time to meet the March deadline. Now, that takes us to the present. It's been a year since the report was given to government, and we've seen no movement. Minister Colton LeBlanc says an enforcement unit won't be a silver bullet to fix residential tenancies, and it might not even meet all the tenants and landlords' expectations. A spokesperson says the department is still considering the report and won't release it yet. Landlord and tenant advocates I've spoken with over the past year say the issues are getting worse, and they're calling on the government to act. Nicola Sagan, CBC News, Halifax.